Hey, this is Kent from Woe Fat, and you're listening to Metalhead Alliance.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jesse again over at Metalhead Alliance, and I'm joined right now on the phone with Kent from WoFat. What's going on, Kent?
Not a lot, man. Hanging out, having a glass of wine, chilling out.
Glass of wine, that's a interesting way of spending a Tuesday night in Texas. You in Texas, right?
Yeah, you know.
I figured it'd be whiskey or something a little bit, but each their own. What kind of wine do you like usually?
Actually, this is a Cabernet Sauvignon from Trader Joe's.
Oh, okay, right
Not
on.
very expensive, actually, but
That it does the job, right?
yeah, that's good. I mean, for a cheap wine, it's all right.
Not bad, not bad. I'm a fan of mead myself. A good honey wine is good. So anyway, appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. First of all, we wanted to kind of knock this out of the park here. We got you about to start a tour or touring. About was it 8 or 9 days, I think.
Yeah, it's a short little tour, just a little over a week.
Cool.
Ended up from Texas up to it'll culminate in Maryland Doomfest.
Sweet.
Maryland.
Yeah, and this is in support of last year's release, Midnight Cometh, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the Maryland Doomfest invited us to play, and
That's cool.
we're not able to do a whole lot of touring just because of our situation at home, which is basically myself and Michael run a recording studio together. So it's tough for us to be away for long periods of time and keep the studio going. So,
Sure.
Originally we thought about just flying up to Maryland for a one-off show, but then we were like, man, it'd be cool to just do some dates on the web there, and we talked to our friends at Well, and they were doing it together because they're playing Maryland Doomfest as well. So we're just gonna do this little short tour with them, and
Excellent.
it should be a lot of fun. We're playing some places we haven't played before, and hopefully get to meet some new fans.
Excellent, man. Yeah, I actually got to speak earlier today with a band who's going to be, I don't know if they're playing the same day as you, but it's a band called The Watchers. I don't know if you're familiar with them at all.
Yeah. Oh, totally, yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
So I actually got off the phone with Tim earlier today, and we talked about that too. So that's pretty exciting. You guys are going to be rocking the stage at Maryland Doom. Is this you guys? Is this WoFat's first time playing the Doomfest there? Or?
It is, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see how it is. I mean, I've heard great things about it. So.
Oh yeah, and it's a killer lineup too, man. It usually follows right after. Well, maybe not like right after, but it's usually like the following to Maryland Death Fest, which is always a really big deal. So
yeah, for sure.
And they throw down pretty heavy up there from what I've heard and seen. So I've actually know some people here in Tennessee who have played Maryland Doomfest last year. Got some really good stories to tell. So I'm glad for you guys that you get to make it up there.
Yeah, thank you. Me too, man.
Terrific. So like you mentioned earlier, that you guys don't do a whole lot of touring in the U.S. and is that the main reason why? Is for the reason you stated with you and Michael running the recording studio there, or is there anything else that keeps you from touring too much?
That's probably the biggest reason. I mean, as a lot of people know, we've been down to Europe a number of times, and really probably the biggest reason we've done that more than doing U.S. dates is it's financially more. We're able to cover costs better, which seems strange, but we're able to just to cover costs and come home with money easier than we are in the States. So it's just it's a different climate over there for touring bands like us.
Sure.
So I'm excited to see how this goes, and if things go well, then maybe we'll try and do some more U.S. stuff in the future.
That's terrific, man, and that's actually, like you said, it's almost backwards sounding for a. Well, you kind of see it with the European bands too. It's like a lot of European bands love coming over here to tour because they really seem to get a good good response and good experience coming over here. And you're not the first band or first person I've talked to in a band who has said that. Like the experience and the response is so much better overseas than it is here.
Like they have a built-in infrastructure for touring bands over there. I mean, it's or especially bands coming from the U.S. Where you can easily rent a really good back line. You can rent a van and easily, and the venues treat bands really well. You get solid guarantees. You get lodging. You get dinner. Wow. It's just like it's such a different climate from here, where it's it's a struggle to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
What you're worth here. It's good luck getting any kind of hotel included with the gig.
Sure.
Good luck getting a discount beer even. I mean, it's a different attitude there, and I think I think it's been a long standing way of how they've dealt with bands for years and years. So it's just sort of that's the way it's done there. And I also think in Europe there's maybe a little bit more of a ingrained sense of support for the arts, like that goes back for centuries.
Sure.
I don't think America quite has that same sense of we need to go out and support artists and support creativeness.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I actually know some guys who are just started a tour. Here in the States, kind of up the East Coast, a little bit on the Midwest, and they're from Tennessee here, but they got a really good following. But I feel horrible, man, because like the first 4 shows of the tour have bombed. Like the first night, the promoter didn't even show up. They haven't played a show yet. Like for the first 4 nights, it's horrible. Like I feel really bad for them. So, well, maybe the States will.
The stories that I are not unusual at all.
No.
It's fine.
Maybe maybe we'll pick up on the style that Europe seems to treat bands with, and maybe we'll start adopting that process. It would be nice, huh?
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of seeing a little bit of a shift, though, and at least within the stoner doom world, as far as some promoters that we've dealt with stateside, where I think because of the awareness of the more interconnectedness of the international community for this genre, I think people in the U.S. are kind of starting to see, like, wow, yeah, we do need to maybe change the way, at least some of the promoters that I've dealt with, I think are starting to change their ways and trying to be more supportive of the scene here, So hopefully it's going to be a large shift.
That's good.
Attitudes.
Yeah, because we see a lot of people that come across the scene that and I use the term promoter very loosely for certain types of people, because they won't even put it on their social media, which I feel is it's an integral, important part of it, but it's definitely shouldn't be like the backbone behind it. I think that it's and I was actually looking at your guys' I listened to the album Midnight Cometh. It was actually the first time since it came out that I actually listened to the whole record on your guys' Bandcamp site, and I noticed that you have quite a few versions of the vinyl, cuts of the album that are, according to the Bandcamp site, you guys are sold out completely of your vinyls.
Yes, we are. We are. Although I just got some from Ripples, so I'll have some for the tour. But
okay, cool.
But yeah, we've been sold out. So
yeah, and they're still, it's still available for CD, actual CD prints of it. Any plans to repress vinyls later on of the recordings, or are you just going to get a few for the tour and that's about it, you think?
Well, we've got some for the tour right now, and if I have any left, I'll put them up on the Bandcamp, and then when we get back, I'll probably try and get more from Ripple. I'm not sure what their inventory is like, but I'm pretty sure that when the inventory is gone, that they will definitely repress, because I think it's been a good.
It's coming back
for them too. So
yeah, like the whole like vinyl thing has really made a big comeback. It seems.
It sure has.
With music lovers, especially, and that's really cool to see, especially the the negative impact that buying music has seemed to have made in the industry. Like a lot of people like to just download stuff, and it's cool to see like physical copies of music, tangible stuff that you can hold in your hand and smell it when you take it out of the packaging and all that fun stuff. Like the
it
artwork.
really is, man. I mean, I grew up buying vinyl, you know.
Yeah.
I still have a ton of vinyl, but a lot of it that I've had since I was, a teenager. But I remember buying a new record and going home and putting it on and like sitting there and staring at the artwork and reading every single last liner note.
Yeah.
It's like part of the experience, man. Looking at the art.
Yeah.
And to me, downloading has always been a weird, foreign concept. But, for one thing, it doesn't feel like much of a commitment to, as far as like getting behind the band, but
right.
But it's weird to not actually own a physical thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just old fashioned, but
I'm the same way, man.
I want to have like a physical copy of it.
Right, because I love seeing the artwork. I love when the lyrics are in there. Reading the lyrics and learning about the band stuff. It's just that to me is just the whole experience. Plus, like you said, this actual support for the artists.
Yeah, and for us, it's, with all of our albums, the artwork is really important. We work with the artist to, like, conceptually, we talk about lyrics and what the lyrics are talking about, and try to come up with artwork that helps to put you in a headspace that works with what we're doing lyrically and the concept that we have behind the music.
Right.
So the artwork is a big part of it to me.
Definitely. Speaking a little bit for those maybe people that are listening to this that have never, for people that haven't heard you guys before and that maybe aren't familiar, with the name WoFat, maybe some of the old school people are just that hear the name initially might think of the relation with that name to that old TV series Hawaii Five-0. I don't know if you've ever watched it. Do you get that a lot from anybody? Does that ever?
That's where the name came from. So.
Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, originally the thought was, and this was before they remade that show, which I was really disappointed when they remade that show. But originally, we're very influenced by 70s rock and
sure
70s things, and so the idea was to sort of have an obscure reference to the 70s, and WoFat seemed like a cool name, and also the character on that Live by Love show, he was like the arch nemesis,
yes.
arch villain, and had this sort of mysterious Far East vibe about him, and so it just seemed like a cool kind of obscure reference, and that was really where the name came from.
Oh, right.
I was disappointed when they remade the show, and it's so bad now.
Yeah, it is.
It kind of ruins the legacy, but we had already named the band by then, so
right.
What are you gonna do?
Right. Yeah. Some things are just better left, untouched. I think when it comes to like trying to revisit old stuff. People, fans of the band, fans of the genre, obviously stoner doom, the sludge, the psychedelic nature of the band, and the culture that is somewhat surround, partaking in marijuana and smoking and all that fun stuff. I'm sure you guys partake. Is that a thing that you guys do as well?
There's a couple of us that do, and I myself, I haven't in years, honestly, but I say this as I'm like sitting here with this
this glass of wine.
WoFat engraved one hitter, lay on a glass of wine. If WoFat engraved like dug out one hitter, then we can have to sell. That's all right.
So is
that's like with carved in WoFat logo.
Sweet.
That's really cool. But actually, I haven't myself smoked in years, but to me it's something that, like, when I used to do it, it was something that changed my whole perspective and way of thinking, for the rest of my life. And and that's like, we have some lyrics that sort of reference that kind of thing. Like one of the lyrics in one of our older songs, Into the Riffian, is the stoned insight, which is just sort of an idea of how you have this just a different way of looking at things that can kind of only make sense to someone that's been there and
right.
experienced that, and so I mean, it's despite the fact that I don't smoke anymore, it's something that is part of what probably where I am and maybe who I am, and
definitely,
and it's I'm totally cool with. I mean, I think I'm totally down with legalizing it, and not for so many reasons. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of medical reasons to legalize it, in addition to just the fact that it's kind of ridiculous that it's not legal. I mean, it's much less destructive than alcohol is. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, and even if I'm for it too, and even people that really don't partake are the same way. Like they see the benefits behind it, and it's their science that backs it. So it's almost kind of hard to argue not. Do you guys have like a weed fund? That sounds kind of dumb or whatever, but it's like, hey man, we're going on the road. We got
we don't have that. No.
What's a crazy tour experience that you've been to Europe at least? It's been more than once, right? Like you've been to Europe. And
yeah, we've been actually like 5 times. But
what would you say is the craziest thing?
One thing that stands out to me is that the first time that we went to Europe, the first time we played in Paris, was a pretty crazy night. I mean, Paris, we played there a number of times, and every time it's one of the craziest places for us to play.
Huh.
Just crowd-wise, it's always just incredibly awesome. But this particular night, we played this club that was called Le Combustible, and I think it's since closed, but it was a small little place, and it was in a building, in like a multi-story building. It was the bottom floor of a multi-story building where there were people who lived above it, and it looked like all the traditional Paris buildings that you see in movies, like that old style kind of building. But so it was an awesome show. We played with Witch Mountain and Cough. It's just
oh wow,
a killer lineup, and the crowd was like unbelievable, and it was so hot in there. And it was funny, of course, before we went in there, the guy that was tour managing for us, he was from Paris, and he was telling us that like a Combustible, he said that the walls sweat because it gets so hot, and he wasn't kidding. It was like it was disgustingly hot, and everybody was just sweating and dying. But anyway, so as we finished the show and we're gonna load out, and the guy who was working the door, he gave us a warning, like right in front of the club. There's like a little awning, over the sidewalk, and he said, yeah, make sure you stay under that awning while you're loading out. There's this lady that lives upstairs that likes to throw water down on people because she gets pissed off about the bands playing.
Really?
And so we were loading out, and she decided to take it up a notch. This bigger night, and she was hurling glass jars of turpentine down at us as we're trying to load out.
Wow.
Like shattering and turpentines flying everywhere. And our bass player, he got a shrapnel in his leg, and it was shards of glass stuck into our road cases. It was insane.
Wow.
But
that's nuts. What about what's your best tour experience? Was that over there too, or what stands out in your mind?
Probably the best, the most memorable and coolest thing that we've done. We've been really lucky to get to do a lot of cool things. But last summer we played at Hellfest in France.
Yeah.
And which Hellfest is huge. Man.
Yeah, it's like one of the biggest European festivals.
Of metal bands.
Yeah.
And so we got to play Hellfest, and it was just, we played early in the day, and we still played for just this massive crowd, and it was so cool to go out. Like we had gone, set up, and then everyone had kind of left the area the stage where we were playing, and so we were set up, sound check, and then I went off the stage, and then it was time for us to play, and I walked out, and I looked up, and there was 7,000 people right there, and it just blew my mind.
Wow.
But it was an amazing experience, and just really, really cool to get to do that.
Yeah, man.
I never had huge goals or plans with this band. We were just kind of doing it to do it, and have fun, and maybe play a couple of local shows. And
and there you are playing in front of 7,000.
A lot of big, cooler things like that. So
yeah, that's fantastic, man.
Also on top of that, it's like, man, we've made so many friends, especially with our tours in Europe. Friends all over Europe that we've hung out with, we've stayed with, and that are lifelong friends now.
Yeah. that's what I love about this. I've talked to this type of thing with a lot of people, and it's definitely a very close knit, type of community in this music genre. No matter what kind of metal it is, or what kind of it's like you don't necessarily have to agree on everything, but when it comes down to music, there's always something that we can meet on common grounds with, and you never meet a stranger. It's you go to a show alone by yourself, and you leave with a couple friends, and it's always a good time. So
yeah, no doubt.
So here's just like an oddball question. I just figured I'd ask you: if Wofat's music was a food, what would it taste like?
Think about that for a second. It would probably taste like really good mole enchiladas.
Really, enchiladas?
I don't know if you ever had it. I don't know where you're in Nashville or in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, I live in about 30 minutes from Nashville and in Murfreesboro, but I'm originally from New York and I've been all over. But so yeah, I mean I call Tennessee home now. But yeah.
Well, we're from Texas.
Yeah.
And there's not just any enchiladas, but mole enchiladas, which is like a deep, dark, almost chocolatey sauce.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just really rich in flavor, and
kind of gooey.
Because I think that's what we would be. Mexican food is hugely important to me.
Oh yeah.
Mole enchiladas is my favorite thing, and it's just a deep, complex flavor, and
cool.
I would hope that maybe our music is that way too. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, man, definitely. What would you say that you've obviously seen a lot of success, maybe unexpectedly so, within Wofat. But what would you say that the hardest thing nowadays is about being in a band and getting your music heard and out there to people? What would you say the hardest thing about that is nowadays?
Probably the hardest thing is, we're sort of in a weird time now where it's easier for small bands and independent bands and small labels to get their music out there than it really ever has been in the past, which is a really cool thing, and which is as we have definitely benefited from. I think the old school big major label model of how they worked is obsolete now. But that's sort of a double-edged sword, because at this point now there's like a ton of bands in our genre that are that people know about and they're getting their name out there. So I think the hard thing now is to rise above that and probably also to have a sound that sets you apart from everybody else in some way, shape, or form, in the genre.
Right.
Not just sort of be part of the mass, So that's probably, I guess that would probably be it. But
how do you?
It's a strange time now for music.
For sure. That's definitely. How do you think Wofat's been able to meet that requirement that you're saying? Making standing out and being unique in such a saturated industry, so to speak.
Yeah, it's hard for me to really say that. I can tell you what I think it is, and I don't know if that's really true, because it's hard for me to be objective about our music, because obviously I'm like,
it's your music.
from inside, but to me, Wofat has always been about sort of bringing a number of different styles together, and styles maybe within let's say subgenres within a genre, but I've always wanted to have, wanted to do things like with the heaviness of like Acid King,
yep,
or Sleep, or even more of a High on Fire thing, but keep it all like very bluesy, but then also bring in different things like fusion, Mahavishnu New Orchestra,
sure,
and things like that, as well as like a Hendrix sort of vibe, and especially a Hendrix in terms of soloing and the way that Band of Gypsies and Jimi Hendrix experience with on the live records, they would just the way they would play as a trio,
the atmosphere of it all,
between Mitch Mitchell and between Jimmy, and so trying to bring all those things and coalesce all those things together. It's kind of what we try to do. We're not trying to just be a retro thing. We're not trying to just be a riff rock band.
Yeah.
And However much we succeed, it's up to the listener, I guess. But that's kind of what we're trying to do. And I don't know that there's a lot of other bands that are really sort of trying to bring all those elements together as one. But who knows?
Well, I gotta say,
thoughts on it.
the whole like stoner doom sludge, anything that really just that sound is, I may be a little biased when I'm singing its praises because I do love it. And it's almost one of those things that you can do no wrong with it. But there are bands that really do stick out. You guys are one of them. Fu Manchu, the Sword.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard of these guys. I think you guys have actually played with them. They're from Nashville. Silent Monolith. You familiar with them at all?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think we played with them at still in the middle of Doomfest.
Yeah. Up in was it Wisconsin or South Dakota or
Omaha.
Omaha. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so like those guys, man. Like I know KJ and Nate and Harold, and they just got another guitar player from another band down around here called the Clover Club. They're similar in ways of they got that kind of real psychedelic sludge type thing going on too.
Yeah.
So that would be cool, man. Like I love that type of stuff. It'd be great. Like you guys ever think about maybe coming to play Nashville sometime and maybe doing a thing with Silent Monolith? Because that would you guys would fit like. Man, that would be sick.
We actually had thought about that. I remember talking to Nate about that in Omaha. It was a possibility for this tour, but it just routing wise, it didn't quite work out. But
yeah,
it was on our radar for sure to do that.
Yeah, man, because I mean that would be something that we would love the hell out of that. And I know Nate talks up you guys big all the time. It's like almost every show he's plugging Wofat. So he's a good dude, man. He's a big nerd, but I love that guy.
Yeah, me too.
That's awesome. So before we end this, of course we're gonna link all of our your guys' tour dates and stuff in the description of the video so that people that are listening can figure out where the tour stops are at. And of course, Maryland Doomfest is a big deal. They all know those dates. But where are, besides, Facebook and Bandcamp, is there anywhere else that, your fans and listeners here that are maybe just now getting turned on to you guys where they can find you at? And we'll link all that into the description, too.
Yeah, Wofat.net is the actual website.
Okay.
We're also looking at Band in Town. Has, I think all the tour dates should be on there. And Songkick should have all or Tour Box, whichever it is. Should have all the tour dates as well.
Sweet. And you guys are on Ripple label, right? The Ripple
yes,
music label, so they can probably get your stuff through the label.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
yeah.
Sweet.
Exactly.
All right, man. Well, that's all I've got. I appreciate your time. Best of luck on the tour and everything else that you guys have planned for the future. It's been wonderful talking with you, Kent, and look forward to seeing you out on the road sometime, maybe. And thanks again for your time, man. Really appreciate it.
Right on, man. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. You have a great night.
You too.
All right, bye.